Good morning. Today we are focusing on Unit 7C, Grammar in Use, and more specifically, we are going to talk about conditional sentences. Our goal for today is for you to be able to identify and distinguish between different types of conditionals and use conditional sentences in various exercises and even sentences of your own. First of all, I'd like to give you some basic information related to conditional sentences. So you should know that there are four types of conditional sentences: type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. A conditional sentence of any type consists of two clauses, which are the conditional clause and the main clause. Another characteristic related to conditional sentences is that when the if clause comes before the main clause, the two clauses are separated with a comma. Here I've shown two examples. In the first example, if she eats seafood, she will have an allergic reaction. The conditional clause, if she eats seafood, precedes the main clause, she will have an allergic reaction. I have written the clauses in different colors so as to make the point clear to you. So here I am using a comma because the conditional clause comes before the main clause, while in the other example, I have swapped places. So in this example, she will have an allergic reaction if she eats seafood. The main clause comes before the if clause. So as you can see, I have not used a comma here since it is not necessary, because the main clause is positioned at the beginning of the sentence, followed by the if clause. Another point that I would like to make concerning the conditional clause and the main clause is that it is very common for students to confuse the conditional clause with the main clause. And often students use the wrong elements in the conditional clause and in the main clause. This is also due to the fact that the clauses are very flexible, in the sense that sometimes the if clause precedes the main clause, as in the example that I showed you, and at other times the main clause comes at the beginning and then the if clause follows. So you should never confuse them, and to not confuse them, you should consider that a conditional clause, depending on the type of the conditional sentence, always contains a present simple verb form, a past simple verb form, or a past perfect verb form. While in the main clause, we always include will plus infinitive without to, would plus infinitive without to, or would have plus past participle, of course always depending on the type of conditional. Now let's focus on the exercises on page 106. In exercise 1, you have to read the extract from a magazine. So this is the extract from the magazine. And then you have to find or identify examples of conditional clauses and complete this table here. I am going to give you some help with the completion of the table, and I'm going to explain things regarding different types of conditionals. So as you can see in this table are included all types of conditionals starting from type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. So let's look into the content of each conditional type. As you can see, this table here is divided into two parts, which is the conditional clause and the main clause. For type 1 conditionals, in a type 1 conditional, in the conditional clause, there is always if or when, followed by a present simple verb form, while in the main clause, we have either present simple or imperative. So when do we use type 0 conditionals? We use type 0 conditionals to talk about general truths or scientific facts. Now let's focus on type 1 conditionals. In the conditional part, or in the conditional clause of a type 1 conditional, we have if, which is a very important element in every type of conditional, plus present simple. And then in the main clause, we have will plus infinitive without to. We use type 1 conditionals to talk about real, or to talk about things that are real or things that are likely to happen in the present or future. Type 2 conditionals. In the conditional clause of a type 2 conditional, we have if plus a past simple verb form. And then in the main clause, we have would plus infinitive without to. We use type 2 conditionals to talk about things that are unreal in the present or future. Let's say things that are contrary to the facts in the present and therefore are unlikely to happen in the present or future. Type 3 conditionals. In the conditional clause of a type 3 conditional, we have if plus past perfect, and then in the main clause we have would have plus past participle. We use type 3 conditionals to talk about imaginary situations in the past. After completing exercise 1, you're going to focus on exercise 2. In exercise 2, you have to put the verbs in brackets into the correct tense and then identify the type of conditional. So basically, you are going to put the verbs in brackets into the correct form, and then you are going to identify the type of conditional in sentences 1 to 8. In exercise 3, you have to match the columns to make conditional sentences. Then you have to put the verbs in brackets into the correct tense. After that, you have to identify the type of conditional in each of the sentences. Exercise 4 is going to be your home assignment. So you have to complete the sentences 1 to 5. This is everything for today. If you have any questions, please contact me and I will give you all the necessary explanations. Thanks a lot for your attention. Take care. Bye.